Good evening and welcome to the Hemingway Jones Live Fountain Pen Show. Coming to you as we always do from here in the library, my sanctity of learning, of fountain pens, of inks, of journals and journaling, and everything that will keep you inspired. So I'm actually delighted to see you all this evening. You, the cursive literate, the Society of Inky Fingers, whatever other names we can come up with. But I do appreciate you joining me each Tuesday night at 8. And of course, I leave these up too. They are here on YouTube podcasts. And you can listen to them at any time. So I'm getting some nice comments on my shirt. Thank you very much. Vintage LL Bean. Well, vintagey. This is about 15 years old from LL Bean's signature collection, which isn't as fun as it used to be. The LL Bean signature collection was where they would take different items from their archives and reintroduce them in new ways. This is black with nautical themes. I love nautical stuff. I think you know that about me. So I have an interesting show for you this evening. I want to talk about things that should never become obsolete. It's something I'm thinking quite a bit about lately. There's all sorts of directions the channel's going in. I think you're sensing it. You always hear it first, I think, on the live show and on the podcast. And then you get a sense of where we're going. Because I post out a few months. Actually, what is it now? The end of July? I am scheduled up until, I think, yes, mid-October. I have videos all set. And that's not including the ones I hope to make in Washington. I'm going down for the day for the DC Pen Super Show, unless I chicken out. There's a possibility I might chicken out, because there's part of me that doesn't want to do it. Because I'll be leaving my house at 5 in the morning to get the first plane out, and then I'm taking one of the last planes back. And that's a long day for these tired bones. But I do think it will be fun. I'm looking forward to meeting as many of you as I possibly can, and also in seeing everyone and which pens they have. I will be looking for myself as well. There are a few pens I'm interested in. I have my eye on a Pilot Custom 823. Hard to believe, but the demonstrator still appeals to me. And oddly enough, I can't remember the last pen I bought. I would have to, well, actually, I just bought a Pilot Metropolitan, but it's for video. I have a steel one, and I saw one that has houndstooth on it, and I thought it'd be perfect for this character study that I'm writing. I'm writing a sequel of sorts to my top 5 pens for old money, which I might rename at some point, because it's not so much a top 5 pen list. I love doing top 5 lists. I rack my brains for things that are top 5s. If you haven't watched my old money video, go watch it, because it's really about characters. So what I'm going to call it is something like 5 pen lives, and then colon old money. Something like that. Because the one I'm working on is going to be 5 pen lives, colon, and a new topic, which I know you're going to love, because I know what you guys like. You tell me. You tell me what you like. You tell me what you don't like. And I mostly listen, but sometimes I make things for myself too, because I have to enjoy the channel too, after all. And I put up some videos lately, the kind of videos that would have done very well in March and don't do as well in the summer, because stationery doesn't do quite as well in the summer. What usually happens is they pick up views in the autumn. So I put up a video last week on the Pelican M805, a pen that Yost Appleboom sent me. He sent me a bunch of pens this year. Those are really my last pen acquisitions. There was a Scribo, which is unbelievable. I had to force myself to put it down. It's that good. There's a M805 and M809. There was a bunch of really good stuff. I'm trying to think what else. I know there were a few more, but those were the ones that are really sticking out to me. I mean, he really outdid himself. Really nice, kind of sent personally and no expectation. He didn't say make videos. He just sent them. And I didn't make videos with everything, but I was inspired by certain pens. And the M805 had me thinking about Indian stepwells, the Tarsum Singh movie, The Fall, which if you haven't seen, you need to see. It's on Criterion right now, I think. Is it Criterion? Well, it's streaming somewhere, but you need to see it. The Fall. It's brilliant. Tarsum Singh. It's all about the power of storytelling. And I think that's very apropos to this channel, because this channel's about storytelling when it all comes down to it. It's not really pen reviews. We do pen reviews. I rarely do straightforward ones. Occasionally I do. But it's mostly about storytelling. It's about who are we as people, as we journal, as we write. What do fountain pens add to our lives? The sense of calm, the centering, the focus, the rituals of fountain pens, the beautiful ritual of refilling a pen, how it focuses you on the activity, getting the ink right, trying not to get ink on your hands, and we're mostly successful at that. That kind of activity is part of the appeal, I think. I think that fountain pens are attractive because they're outside of our normal course of action. We often look for the quickest thing, the easiest thing, the most efficient. And fountain pens are not that. They demand a certain something from us. They demand care and attention to detail and maintenance. And you certainly, in a certain sense, really have to coddle a fountain pen. You have to treat it lovingly. You can't just pick it up, uncap it, jam it into the paper and start writing with it. You have to make sure it's facing the right direction. You have to adapt your hand, your pressure to the page. It's a whole approach. And with that, it's almost like carrying an egg around when you were a kid. You remember that when you had to do that in school? You had to carry the egg around and not break it. And usually everyone broke their eggs and they just substituted them for another egg. Well, it's a bit like that. It's very nurturing. And I think in a way it teaches us to be better people. It teaches us to take care of our things. And it also teaches us that maybe some things, some outdated things, some anachronistic things, some old-fashioned things, some things that were good enough for Granddad, then they're good enough for me. The way they were is the way it's got to be. And if you're a Squirrel Nut Zipper fan, you recognize that song. Squirrel Nut Zippers were one of my favorite bands in the 1990s. They were sort of a 1930s revival band. I still listen to them. Their big song was Hell. And it was a lot of fun. Everything they did. I saw them in concert, I think, 3 times. But that song and that line always stuck to me because I had a very close relationship with my grandfather. I adored my grandfather. He was a character. He was a self-made man. He never made it past 4th grade. He had to leave school to support his family. And he was born in the Great Depression. He told me stories of following the trains in Philadelphia, and they would drop coal occasionally off the train, and he would pick it up and they would use that to help heat the house in their coal-fired boilers and probably their kitchens too. Very hard scrabble life my grandfather led. So he dropped out of school at 4th grade, but he told all his potential employers that he had graduated high school because Central High School in Philadelphia burned down and all their records were lost. So they couldn't prove that he didn't go there. he was a character. He was self-educated. He was prone to the, I guess I'm prone to the occasional malaprop. Malaprops were his currency. And he delivered them with charm. And he had this folksy wisdom about him for being a man who never left Philadelphia and the Philadelphia area as long as I knew him. But he was just a charming, interesting guy. And he meant the world to me. And many of the things he did are things that I emulate. Certainly the sense of duty, the providing for your family, and the closeness with our younger generation, in my case, my beautiful daughter. So, yes, my grandfather was a legend, and he taught me that. I want to say a few things, and then we're going to get right into our topic. I mean, we've actually already started speaking about our topic, which is pretty amazing for me. I usually start half past the hour, as you know. But I noticed that there are some people here at the channel who have been commenting a lot and very active. And I wanted to kind of shout them out, if I may. So first is Ed Rivas. Very active on the channel, I see. Looks like, I don't know if this is accurate, but it's saying you did 100+ comments. Good on you, mate. I appreciate it. Touching. Thank you. Similarly, David Holmes with 100+ comments. I don't know in what time frame, but I don't care. That's a lot of comments. Thank you. Thank you for your attention to the channel. It means a lot. Both of you guys are members too. I appreciate it. Alex Plott, very, very active. Another member. Thank you. I really appreciate it, my friend. And then Raven the Light, who is not a member, but very, very active. And that's fantastic. I appreciate you being here. And the last person I want to shout out this week is Wes Wood. Also very, very active, not a member. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. And a special thank you. I thank the members all the time. You guys are the producers of the channel. That's why I put your names at the end credit, even though it actually technically hurts the channel. I don't know if you realize that. Because it's like a minute, I think it's a minute and 20 seconds or so for me to run the end credits. But I feel it's worth it. And the reason it hurts the channel is that you get judged on how much of your video people watch. And you want people to watch the whole thing if they can. And it just takes a nosedive at the end credits, which is a shame because I try to put interesting little tidbits in the end credits. But I appreciate you guys. You'll always get your thanks from me. I'd be lost without you. I truly would. And you help support the channel. Because no one's making a living on YouTube, you know? We're here because we love it. You have to love this. And I do appreciate all the kind and generous support. So I want to make that abundantly clear. Abundantly clear. And I do alienate a lot of pen companies. I think a lot of times they're not expecting honest reviews. It makes me wonder why they're not expecting honest reviews. But if you give me a pen, I'm going to give you my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm going to just give you a glowing review just because you send me one. I get a pen, and the first thing I do is I look at it, and I ask myself whether or not I like it. And then I ask myself if I can find a narrative to kind of access it. So that's important to me. As I work with it, I try to work with every pen for at least a week. I start sort of saying, okay, this is a good thing about it. This thing is not. And then I let the review sort of fall where it is. It's rare when I hate something. I have recently. If you haven't seen the review of the Ashira pen, I didn't connect with it at all. I don't like to say hate. That's too strong of a language. I don't mean that. But I didn't connect at all with that pen. I respect the people that made it, and it's very nice materials, not for me. And then there's some other pens that are flawed. And I've called them out and will continue to. Editorial independence is very, very important to me. I am not a pen shop. And I have to push back sometimes on media literacy, and it's part of what we're going to speak about tonight, the sort of how critical thinking and literacy and the things that supported it are dying off. And there's an effect. I see it. People watch my videos and they get mad at me. They say, well, you didn't put a link in the comments on how to buy it. And I'm like, well, I don't care if you buy it or if you don't. I'm neutral on that. I'm presenting you why I like it. I'm giving you my passion about it, or my criticism, or my well-balanced review, or whatever it is. I'm here to entertain you with a video, not to sell you something. I'm not a pen shop. And my editorial independence is very important to me. If anyone tried to affect that in any way, I would call it off. Let's call the whole thing off, if that's the case. I have to acknowledge Brick by Brick 75 with, drum roll, $100 super chat. Wow. Wow. Now let's see what they have to say. Today marks the end of my So Everybody Can Move 28 by 28 challenge. That's fantastic. Congratulations. Did it in caps, exclamation point. Last 2 days were fully outside of 50 plus minutes per the last 2 days, 51 for the total 100 minutes. Well done. Congratulations. That is fantastic. And thank you for celebrating here with a fantastic donation to the channel. That will help keep the lights on. The lights are burning brightly tonight. Thank you. Extremely, extremely kind of you. Thank you so much. I see Obs is here, by the way. Hi, Obs. Nice to see you. Always good to see you. Sister Golden Hair as well, who just had a birthday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not great at birthdays, guys, so when I notice them, I have to get that in. Okay. So, should I tell you? Yeah, okay. Let's quickly just talk about the videos I put out, because I need to do a commercial for myself, and then we're going to dive into the subject. I'm going to show you my pens and a few other things. I put out the video on the Pelican M805, and it featured the movie The Fall by Tarsem Singh's Indian Stepwells and The Vessel in New York City. If you haven't watched that video, please do. It's not what you think it is. It's one of my videos. So I think you'll find it very entertaining. So seek it out. It came out last week. I'm pretty proud of it. I also released another video last week. I have so many videos that I had to double them up. We're going to double them again this week, and then for a while we won't. But last week I put up one on the Morgan Library. We went to the Morgan Library. There was a tarot exhibition. My wife wanted to see it for her birthday. It was the whole reason we were in New York. It was so fun, and it was absolutely brilliant. Had a blast. Learned so much. It traces the iconography from illuminated manuscripts over to tarot cards. Fascinating stuff. I highly recommend it if you're in the New York area. And if you're not, please watch my video. Excuse me. I think you will enjoy it. And then we also went to see the, Clemena exhibition at the Park Avenue Armory, which was these porcelain bowls floating on round pools that were joined by a glowing white disc above. I have a glowing white disc right here with my ring light. It was sort of like that, a giant ring light in the sky. And these bowls were drifting around and interacting with each other, sort of taking on their own currents and movements. I don't know if there was anything driving them from below. The water was quite clear. Unlike the reflecting pool in Washington, the water was crystal clear and beautiful, and they were moving around, and as they would hit together, they made this incredible, almost gong-like noise. And I observed that the ends of them were chipped strategically, usually at the 4 cardinal points, if you will, and other ones just had 2, and I think it was a tonal thing. I think they were trying to strike a certain tone. So very beautiful, hypnotizing, slightly almost alienating. At one point I felt very sad. I was standing and I saw some of the kids around, and I just had this sort of intense feeling of, I guess the feeling of like a waning world, of being sort of part of a world that's leaving and there's a new world rising, and I'm not going to see where that's going. And I don't know, it's very melancholy. Sometimes my brain is prone to that. But it's okay because it was part of the beauty of it. And my daughter loved it. My wife did. I really wanted to touch them. So that's all in there. And lastly, I put in another bit from the Drama Bookshop. The Drama Bookshop is beautiful in New York. It's one of my favorite bookshops. It's not in a spot I go to often, but it's close enough to Times Square that I could walk there. And we had a bit of coffee and sat and looked at some books and had a blast. So check that video out. And then this week is the finally my video on the Aurora Optima and how I feel about it. And I think it's a really fun video. It's very personal. I think you'll like that. And then the video that I'm putting up is to support it. It's like the next day, Thursday and Friday. Stationery shops in New York. Where I found stationery, what I bought in surprising places. So I think you'll enjoy both of those. Thank you very much. All right, I want to show you something real quick, and then we're going to jump into the topic. I am mindful of the time. Let me see. So, there we go. Years ago, a couple years ago, I showed you my onion skin journal. And I did a video on the onion skin journal. I was really super proud of it. If you haven't watched it, do a search on my channel and find it. And I got thinking about it again because my poetic skills are a bit off these days. And what this is my story journal, right? But this actually isn't my story. What this is my poems that I work on. And I called it Notes from Home, Poems and Observations. I started in March of 2024. And this is onion skin, which is a very strong paper. It's super fun to write on. It's semi-transparent, so if you don't like ghosting, this is not the paper for you. But I say embrace it because you can see 3 pages down. And it gives it this beautiful sort of, in a way, kind of ghostly effect. It's very ersatz. So you have this feeling of layer upon layer. Some of my poems in here are okay, and some are not as good. I write on one side of the page, and you can see the other side here in this gorgeous negative image. You just have to embrace it, but it's fun to write on. And it expresses your ink very well. And one of the things that I do is I have only written in reddish inks. So it's Diamine, Oxblood, the Mont Blanc Burgundy. This brownish one, I'm not really sure. But there's probably Writer's Blood too is in here. But I use poems to kind of loosen the cobwebs in my mind when I write. So if I'm going to write a script, I like to write a poem, and I haven't done it in a while. This is on Ghost Cat poem here. It doesn't look that good, but I'll keep working on it. I like this. It says at the bottom, I don't believe in Ghost Cat, and she doesn't mind. I miss her when she's not here. Doesn't really rhyme, does it? Perhaps not my best work. By the way, I am not someone who thinks that every poem has to be great. I think anything you try to publish does. I would probably take some of these and work them if I thought they were good. But you can see there's quite a few in here. And the good news is that I started to write again. And not very good, sadly. But I think I'll keep at it. I'd like to fill this. But you see, there are quite a few here. And this paper, I wish you could touch this paper. She apparels herself in darkness, draped in shadow, bejeweled in a pave of star-studded, glistening ribbons of Space closed? I can't read my own handwriting. Whose dubious shoulders shield sun and wind. I like romantic stuff. I'm a romantic at heart. But anyway, so I started again. I wrote a couple poems in Mont Blanc Ruby Red, but quite a few here. This is neat. This is the bookmark. You can see it right through. I think everyone needs one of these. It's just interesting experience. This is the... they include a nice guide for you, so your lines aren't all over the place. And you just move it with the page, and I use this fantastic paper clip. I love supporting this company because she's just so lovely, and she makes such a fantastic product. So I really like it. Onion Skin Journal. There is a link, if you like one, in my description. Let me show you the pen I am writing with it. Ooh, you know what? Looks like a super chat came in. Look at that. Fountain Pen Carl. What have you done? $10. Thank you so much. Very interested in your paper. Thanks. Oh, well. In this paper, the onion skin, it's pretty cool. We're going to do a lot of different paper on the channel, by the way. Paper is something I'm really focusing on. For a while I didn't, and thank you, Fountain Pen Carl, for your generosity. And congratulations to Brick by Brick. Thank you for your generosity. I'm still really impressed. Thank you. Thank you both. Lovely. So this is what I've been writing in the poem book with. The 147. Absolutely lovely. Beautiful Bordeaux color. It just ran out of ink. I was writing a letter to someone. I'm so behind on my letters, you guys. Thank you for being patient with me. I just don't have time. I wish I did. But I'm trying to bust out some postcards. And I was working on one, and it ran out of ink on me. And when I refilled it, I realized I was using a different ink. But that happens. This is a fantastic pen. Highly recommend it. 147 is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So that's kind of what I'm using. Maybe, I'd like to quickly show you some inks because I put up a video of the pens I was using, but I couldn't show you the ink, so I'll show you real quick. This is mostly Mont Blanc Burgundy. I say mostly because I mix it in the cartridge, and I don't know what was in there before. But it's mostly, and it looks really nice. Does that look nice? So that's what's in here. I like it. So what I wanted to show you is the video this week is on the Aurora Optima, and I was going to let it rest for a while, but I decided to fill it with Tatcha's Great Wave, and I wanted to show you what that looks like. It's a really nice blue. Gosh, I love cursive smooth metallic nibs. Not bad, huh? It's nice, right? Great Wave. Tatcha. It's one of my favorites. Darker blue for me. Oh, and I should show you this too. This is mostly, because I did clean it, but probably not very conscientiously. But my 149 has Egyptian blue. Very nice blue. From Mont Blanc. Which one do you like better? 2 Mont Blancs and a Tatcha. Let me know in the chat or in the comments. I would appreciate it. This has Kumpecky. You've seen it before. I don't want to repeat myself too much, you know. Do catch the stationery video this week for certain, because it has what I bought. I do a, what do you call it, a haul? I always feel like that's a little vulgar, but I did buy some stuff, mostly for other people, and I do it in the store, which is fun. I did my outro, you know, the outro of my video where I go, thank you for watching, please subscribe if you reach this point in the video, you know, that whole thing I do all the time, which I love to do. I did it in line. I was like second from the register, and I turned around to Helen, and there was like people waiting behind her, and I am so obnoxious. I'm such an influencer now, and I say that with all the necessary derision that comes with it. But I can suspend my shame reflex just to get a good shot, because I wanted a good shot. And I'm in the aisle, and I'm like, and if you want to join the channel, and I promise I'll see you further up the road. Right there, my wife filming me in line. So don't miss it. It's super fun. And that scene is worth the price of admission. So, had a blast. I see some super chats came in, and I'm going to recognize all you lovelies now. So thank you. Speaking of lovely, it's a Cohen. $50. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. You are the best. Hi, my friend. Great shirt. Speaking of pen shows, I may have overdone the Nimmeister appointments at the San Francisco Pen Show. Good for you. What would be your top 3 pen and custom grind combos? Actually, since I have your address, I will be sending you some pens, and you can simply have them worked on for me. I'd appreciate that. I'm kidding, of course, but thank you so much for the generous support. Do you know, and I'm glad you bring this up, Mr. Cohen, because this is something I was thinking of recently. I could almost take my entire collection, every pen, except for some certain choice ones, some stubs, some flex nibs, calligraphy nibs, and whatnot, and I could have every nib, certainly every medium I own, turned into a cursive smooth italic from Kirk Spear. I could do it. Every one. I would be delighted. So if you do some version of that nib, I would be delighted. So that's my advice. Thank you for your generous support. You are the best. Thank you. Iridil? Is that how we say it? That's what we're going with. $10. Thank you so much. If you like reddish ink, my Ackerman Steenrud Van Vermeer Brick Red is nice. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the recommendation. I have some Ackerman ink. It's my Du Hast ink. And it's not called Du Hast, but I always call it Du Hast. So I now forget what it's actually called. But I like it, and I love the bottle. And I appreciate the $10. Thank you. Let me see. Jay Gala, $89.91. $2. Thank you so much. Cheers, everyone. Cheers to you, my friend. Thank you for the generous support. All of you. Thank you. And Sandy Channel 6917. There we go. Get that up there. $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Very, very kind. Thank you. Lots of lovely super chats today, guys. Thank you. Oh, and the amazing, the incomparable, the knowledgeable, and very pleasant Hazel. Thank you so much. $5 super chat. Nice to see you. I feel like everyone is behind with letters. No stress at all. Life is hectic. I appreciate that, Hazel. I do feel bad. I mean, I love the Pen Pal group, and I wish I had more time to write. But sometimes I have to make the decision as to whether or not I can put up another video or write or do something else. So it's been really tough, but I'm kind of chipping away at it. And I got some postcards out. My wife got me some postcard stamps. That was holding me back. Postcards are faster, so I'm trying to do those just to say hello and get some activity out there. So I appreciate it, Hazel. You're lovely, and I appreciate the support. And Pelagic Lex, speaking of lovely, $9.99. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys are such a generous support. And I have to tell you, there's almost 500 chats. And it's 37 past. Okay. Thank you all. I appreciate the support. You are awesome. Let's talk about things that should never become obsolete. Because what I was thinking about this, not just in my grandfather, and how much I miss him, by the way. He's been gone for 32 years, and he meant the world to me. Sometimes when I'm driving my Jeep and I'm alone, I can smell my grandfather. My grandfather smelled like a mix of Old Spice and Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And it was just the best smell in the world. I would give anything to hug that guy again and feel his scruffy face against mine. He just, my father died when I was 18 months old, and my grandfather meant the world to me. If I could be half the man he was just golden. Just a fantastic guy. Taught me how to change a tire. So many things he taught me. But anyway, I was thinking about that. I was also thinking about pencils. And I saw a video on YouTube, one of those like how it's made, and it was on a Japanese pencil company, and the name escapes me, and I feel a little embarrassed about that. But they're doing innovative pencil designs, and they were saying that there were 100 pencil makers only 50 years ago, and now there's a handful. And I'm reflecting myself. I like Blackwing pencils, the 602s, for drawing, even though they don't stay very sharp, but they have a rich, beautiful graphite in them, beautiful color for sketching. But these Japanese pencils, I have to get them. I can't remember their name. I should have written it in the show notes. But pencils should never be obsolete. Pencils are something we all need always. Pencils are sort of like fountain pens. They're sort of impractical, but do amazing things. And if you have a knife, you can always keep it sharp in some way, shape, or form. And the ink, if you will, the graphite, it just a different way of transferring pigment into paper. And it can be quite smooth. The Blackwings are very smooth. It's very enjoyable. But I was really saddened to hear that some kind of stationery was in trouble, especially something as amazing as a pencil. And then it got me thinking about all the other things that are attendant to pens and paper. Because, fountain pens should never be obsolete, but that's a given, right? I did a soliloquy earlier in the hour. If you're just tuning in now, go back and watch the beginning of the show, because I speak about how fountain pens are impractical. I'll just kind of address it again, but I was much more eloquent, I'm sure, before. But they're impractical devices. If you look at it simply from what's the quickest way for me to write, they come up short. You have to adjust your pressure. You have to adjust the way you hold them, all these things. But in demanding so much from us, they give so much to us. It's that relationship with anything. You have a bonsai tree and you trim it and you have to water it in a certain way, and you get the joy of seeing it thrive and be, beautiful colors. If you have a pet, you take care of a pet, they're a pain. When I travel, I have to have someone live in my house because I have a very sentimental cat and I don't want her to get depressed. So I have a house sitter when I travel. But they give you so much. Well, fountain pens are very similar. They give much more than they take. Mary Madden, fantastic Mary Madden. $4.99 super chat, thank you. HJ, you're a hoot. Totally effusive and ebullient. I know that word, but I don't think I've ever said it out loud on the show, and so humble and gentlemanly in person. And Blackwings are the best. Thank you. I do get a little shy in person. It's different speaking through a microphone, I think, when the reality of people around you, and at pen shows sometimes there's a lot of people. And it can make me withdraw a little bit, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to be better, Mary, but thank you. I'm working on it, and thanks for your support. Mary's always there. She's always at the local pen shows, which is fantastic. But, typewriters are a lot of fun, and I love them, and they're becoming very obsolete in the sense that you don't even see them. And our computers are planned to be obsolete, as we all know. Our iPads. My iPad Pro is like 6 years old. It still works for me, but it's designed to be obsolete nonetheless. And even some cameras and things, and I've been fighting back on that. I've been using my older digital cameras. I have a really nice Canon 6D that takes beautiful, perfect pictures, especially with L glass. Amazing, flawless images. And they're boring. They're so boring. Oh my gosh. They are the most boring images. Perfect representations in digital form is soul sapping. I have a Leica X2, I think it's called, and it's impractical. It has manual style knobs and you can set them in certain ways. Take some interesting pics. It looks like a still from a film. It's cinematic. It has incredible contrast. The algorithm is brilliant. It almost never gives you a negative sky. It writes some kind of sky for you every time. It's brilliant. And it's like 10 megapixels. And that's all you need. It looks fantastic. I also have a Canon 5. It's the first full frame sensor digital camera from Canon, and the algorithm within it registers like film. It takes images and makes them look like film, not like perfect images. And it's so great. It's so, everything that comes out of it makes you want to put your phone down and never use your phone for recording. I could actually record my show on the 6D, but I could with better lenses, but the phone does fine for that. But it kind of tells you like this obsolescence. Those cameras are obsolete, but they're so much better than the new stuff. They just are. They just look fantastic, and they had a different idea. And it's the same thing. They're a little tougher to work with. They're not as good in low light, so you have to work a little harder to get what you want. But once you do, it's poetry. Poetry. Things like personal correspondence. We have the Pen Pal group on this channel. Illuminati and Cognoscenti Members, if you join the channel. In some countries, they're doing away with the post because no one sends letters. It's rare to get an email. I rarely get emails that are... I get, like my emails are interesting, but I guess I'm a bad case. Like as soon as I said this, I'm starting to talk myself out of this point. But when you have a YouTube channel, I get lovely emails from people saying how much a certain video meant for them, to them. And that means the world to me. But I was trying to equate it to the sort of correspondence you have through letters. You rarely get the back and forth, give and take, warm stuff. It's usually... like lovely people checking in, and then I get a lot of like business inquiries. I guess it's a lot like the post when you think about it, because that's what I get in the post, right? I get wonderful correspondence from the members, and then I get a lot of junk mail, which would be like the business stuff I get in my email. So it's kind of interesting. I'm making parallels. The other parallel I was making the other day, I was listening to one of the arguments about AI, and I'm not a fan of AI. I think you know that. I keep AI out of my channel. I write much better than AI does. I can smell AI because it writes in a certain way. It does this string of negations before making a point. It's not just a book. It's not a repository of knowledge. No, it's a definitive masterpiece. Like it always writes like that, and it drives me mad. It's like one voice. But I had a point here. Oh yeah, but when I criticize it, I'm like, it steals from everybody. But people do that too. I think part of the reason that we don't like AI so much is that we're seeing ourselves reflected back. I try not to get upset when people steal my video ideas, but I do see it occasionally, and it's a little discouraging sometimes. You lose faith. Super chats will regain my faith. DW7324 with $4.99. Thank you so much. The character of an analog gray evokes a sense of reality because it's real. Digital is but a samole. Samole. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. But I love your point. I will say that early digital cameras were fantastic. It was before they trained them to be perfect. They were trying to emulate film. It was almost like poets were in charge then, and now technocrats are in charge. But thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Obscure Causes 5159, $5 Aussie. Thank you. Hope you make it down under to Sydney sometime, mate. Me too. That's a long flight for me and my old bones. But I would like to see it. Everyone I meet from your country is absolutely brilliant. Just the nicest, most generous person. So there must be something in the water down there. There's something. But I do appreciate your support and hope to get down there one day. So I think for me, I have kind of created my fortress of solitude where I can spend really quiet, contemplative times with a fountain pen and a journal, here at my desk, surrounded by my books, surrounded by Yorick, who's always staring at me affectionately. Poor Yorick. Surrounded by items that I love, like my vintage Egyptomania inkwell, which has a clay to sapphire in it, so I have to be careful. I can't tip it right now. It doesn't have a lot. I've used most of it. But I love to kind of push back and have these moments of quiet. It's so important to me, and I don't get enough of them. I work a lot. My career, I love my career, and I work with incredibly talented people, and I learn new things every day, and I feel like I'm at the top of my game, and I love that. It's inspirational. When I come home sometimes, I'm kind of exhausted from work, and often I have to work on the channel. I do this show on Tuesday nights. I usually record for the channel on Thursday night, and then I start editing Friday nights, although sometimes I do my B-roll on Friday nights and Saturday mornings, and then I edit Saturday and into Sunday. That's kind of my schedule, and I'm very disciplined. So I always do it. Even if I go away, I went to New York for the weekend. I made like 3 episodes while I was there. It's just how I'm wired. I'm always doing something. It's my creativity. Someone was critical and didn't like that I was saying that romanticizing your life helps you to be more productive. And they were saying that I was like a capitalist overlord where everything had to be productive. Banker aside, I'll say that when I say productive, I mean it in a very personal sense. Productivity is very important to me. It's part of my identity. I have to produce. I have to add value to what I'm doing. I'm very earnest in my job and my career. I want to make my bank better. I want to make better decisions. I want to refine my judgment. At my level in banking, you're paid for your judgment. Anytime I make a mistake or something, I get like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But it's not like I'm saying I have to make as much money as I can. My goal is safety. That's always my goal. Be safe. And I recommend to people when I talk to them, my clients, everybody else, make sure you have backup plans. Be safe. Don't over leverage, things like that. So for me personally, when I'm home, I like to be productive, but within my productivity are things like reading. I love to read, and I'm I'm a slow reader and I have a huge queue all the time, and I will put things higher in the line. I just bought the Odyssey and I haven't seen the movie or anything. I won't. I'll see it when it streams. But I never read the Odyssey all the way through. Last year I read the Iliad. But I did buy it. I have it right here, actually. I bought it at the Concord bookstore. Shout out to the Concord Bookshop, my favorite local bookshop. So if you're in Concord, do check it out. But the Odyssey, I'll be reading that soon. I like the trade with the kind of tougher cover. That's perfect for me to hold. Hardcover would be too much for a book like that. But the point I'm making is that I need to feel productive, even if it's reading, even if it's a bit of quiet. It means it kind of expressing who I am at my essence. And that's so important to me. And I'm a bit of an academic tourist, and I can admit that. I love libraries, and I used to spend so much time in the library. Years ago, when I lived in Boston, I was single. I used to meet up with my Italian tutor in the center courtyard of the Boston Public Library, and I would study Italian in the reading room, and then I'd meet her in the courtyard. We'd get a little food. We'd talk for an hour in Italian. And I spent probably 2 days out of the week, a few hours at the library, and I loved it. Nowadays, I'm in the BPL a handful of times, maybe 3 times a year. I was just in the New York Public Library. Not as easy to get footage in there as the Boston Public Library. I'm also going to say something, and I'm sorry, this is true. The Boston Public Library is much more beautiful than the New York Public Library. I love the New York Public Library, but as a building and the reading room, like the Rose Reading Room versus the is it McKim? Oh, no, it's the Bates Hall, sorry. Reading room in the BPL. I'm sorry, Boston has it all over New York. I'm sorry, it just does. Now, New York has Bryant Park, and we have crummy concrete in Copley Square. It used to be a nice park. They paved it over. It's crummy concrete now. So, but yeah, Boston Public Library. But I wish I could spend more time. Libraries are something that cannot become obsolete. I think it's so important to read, and especially different points of view. And it's good to engage with people who disagree with you and try to find common ground. In Aikido, I was an Aikido instructor. It's a martial art, but the goal of conflict in Aikido is not to destroy your opponent. It was to restore harmony. And I always took that to heart. And I feel like we as people should find common ground and move together. And I know that sounds really trite and sort of naive and something a high school student might say, but there's truth in innocence, isn't there? And if you're kind of not united as a people, then the people in power can divide you and use that divide to get what they want. And I feel like we need to be an educated population to push against that. Regardless of who's in power, the people should be a check on power, always. And I don't get political. I always skirt on the edge of politics. But I just do feel that you owe it to yourself and your character. One of the goals of life is to develop your character, because you might need it someday. You might find yourself in an emergency. You might find yourself in a time when people are relying on you, and your character comes into being. And I feel like part of refining your character is being educated, understanding the arguments against the values you hold, and questioning those values and holding them up to scrutiny to make sure that you're not just believing in them because you're comfortable, but because they truly correspond with who you are as a person. I think that's very important. And in the worst transition ever, I also think it's very important that GW Driver 2158 gave me a super chat. Thank you so much. $10. Very nice. You picked a good translation of the Odyssey. Emily Wilson is close to the original Greek structure and easy to read. Robert Fitzgerald is great too, and perhaps more poetic. Thanks. Emily Wilson, I thank you for this generous support. Thank all of you for the generous support. Emily Wilson, I have a special place in my heart for because she's at the University of Pennsylvania, where I work for Stonier. Never met her. She's probably not there when I'm there in the summer, and I'm not even there anymore because I'm rarely on site. I do remote stuff. But she's been at Penn since 2002. She was born in Oxford. She is a classicist, and I have great admiration for classicists. Anyone who can read Greek and Latin and form opinions. She was also absolutely brilliant on In Our Time. She was on the episode with the Bacchae, and they always do a little bit extra on the podcast. And she brought up how the Bacchae is central to Donna Tartt's The Secret History, and it made me love her forever because I am a huge Secret History fan, as you may or may not know. So, kind of a big deal. I'm kind of excited to read it. I'm still reading the I can't remember the name of the book I'm reading. It's by S.T. Gibson, and it's not really going anywhere, but I like it because it takes place at a English country house, and I love English country house. I love it as a setting. I'll read anything that has to do with that. One day I'm going to buy a beat up old boxy Range Rover and wear my tweed and my Tattersall. David Pearson's my friend, my dear friend, $2 super chat. Thank you for the friends I've made and will make here. That's so nice. Thank you, David. David's a lovely guy. If you don't know David, meet David. Here he is. He's a fantastic guy. Just lovely. One of my favorite people. So, wow, I see a lot of people talking about Emily Wilson in the chat, which I would love to get into. But I see the hour is drawing nigh. And I do want to mention once again, this week's video is on the Aurora Optima, O Sole Mio, and my relationship with it. It's my Story of a Pen series. I think you'll enjoy it. That comes out Thursday at noon. And then Friday at noon is my Stationery of New York City video. Don't miss it. I go to the... I can't tell you where I go, actually, because it'll ruin the video. Because it's like, hey... I can tell you one place I go. I go to... Kinokuniya. That's where I do my stationery haul, and I film my closing in the line. So that's a lot of fun. Don't miss that. And I bought some stuff I wanted to show you tonight, like these. I really wanted to show you. You'll have to see them on Friday, and maybe I'll show them to you next Tuesday. So lots of fun. So anyway, we're there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe and consider joining the channel too. I'd love to have you behind the scenes. So I'll promise you, I'll see you very soon. Thank you all. Thanks for the super chats. Love you guys. Big hugs. See you soon. Take care.